Okay.
Okay.
Yay. Cheers to episode 2 of the podcast.
Yay.
Season 1.
Season 1, episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dating apps.
Dating apps. I feel like we need way more than just a half hour to talk about these, but
Oh my gosh, yes.
this is what we're going to start here. And if we need a season or, oh my God, a second, like a part 2.
Part 2. Exactly.
Yeah.
Although this could be an ongoing theme, like, through the season.
Yeah, because I guess, I mean, I'm still out there on the streets and unfortunately.
But there are a lot of you out there on the streets, and I think it would be, well, it just even in our friend group. And so I think that could be fun also, because it kind of ties into thought of like dating in your 30s versus in your 50s. And so I have some other gal pals in their 50s who are dating, kind of encountering the same things as you in your 30s.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you'd think it would change, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah.
But
I think they'd be more honest and
just like grown up in general. I don't know. The other aspects, like, my date last night was like very kind and sweet and nice, but like I realized that a deal breaker for me is like someone not checking in to make sure I got home okay.
I feel like that's basic etiquette kindness 101.
Yeah.
I am so surprised in my years of dating experience that some men, like, they just treat you worse than they would treat a friend. Or as a woman, there's so many women who will put up with things that they wouldn't necessarily with their girlfriends. Oh, man, like, yes, that's just an etiquette. Like, we would do that for each other. Did you get home okay?
Yeah. My friends do that. I do that for my friends, and to have someone, and like we had a couple drinks, so I'm like, and it was like a half-hour drive for me. And like, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it was a first date, so it's not like that big of a deal, but it is.
But put your best foot forward also.
Yeah.
And it is a first date, and it just says who you are as a person. And somebody, it doesn't matter if you're going to match or not. You would still want to kind of close that out with like, had a nice time. Let me know you made it home okay.
Thanks for driving out to the place that I picked. Like, he didn't, now I think back and I'm like, he didn't ask where I wanted to go. He was like, I know of a cool place. We're going to go there. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
No collaboration. But like, also I like when someone
sometimes people just,
takes the initiative.
I make decisions all day, every day, and sometimes I don't want to make a decision.
Yeah.
And so if a man is always going to look at me to make decisions, I can't do it.
That's what my ex-boyfriend did. And I was like, I'm a project manager.
Oh my gosh.
I tell people what to do all day.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do this with you.
Right.
Like, pick up the slack a little bit, grow up, make decisions. Be a man, even though I know that's everyone's definition of what a man is different. But like, I am starting to build out what mine looks like, I think, more so now.
Which I think is perfect. And it all is kind of part of that dating experience. It doesn't have to be, every time you go, you just learn a little bit more about yourself and what you want out of the relationship. But oh my God, it is so hard to like go on the date, get dressed, leave your house, get on makeup. It's going to be 2.5 hours where you're like, oh, I'd rather just kind of like
giving my time to a stranger where I could like, I know I could hang out with my friends and like, I'm guaranteed to have fun and to be comfortable and whatever. But I'm like taking time out of my life because like my time is valuable.
Absolutely.
Your time is valuable. Everybody's is. His is too. And you're just like forfeiting this precious time for a stranger and you don't know how it's going to go. And it just, from start to finish, I feel like from starting to match with somebody on an app to like the end of the first date feels like so much effort.
It is a lot of effort. So let me ask you that question. How quickly do you get off the app and then into texting? And do you give your personal number? Because I know some people have a Google number that they give for dating.
I think it depends, like, how quickly we start texting. It depends. Like, if we're, like, chatting on a regular basis and it's, like, going easy, I'll never ask for a guy's number just because I want to give them that opportunity to, like, be a pursuer of some sort. So I don't know. This most recent guy that I went out with last night, I think it was maybe, like, 2 days 1 or 2 days of just chatting.
Oh, seems right.
But like some other guy, I don't know if it's like a trend or like what's going on, but guys are like, hey, future wife, or like,
They say that?
marry me. Yeah. Like it's the first
What? Like
connection on the app.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I'm like, whatever, that's funny. Like, okay, meet you in Vegas or whatever. But this one guy did that. And I don't know, 3 back and forths. He asked for my number. And I was like, no, that's too soon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know you. I do get my personal number. I don't have a Google number because I can block people if I want to.
Maybe you get rid of the Google number, just get a new Google number too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. What do you do usually? Or what have you done?
What did I have so many different apps and things going on just like work-wise that I'll forget to go back on the app. So if it's a day of texting that I feel like there's some kind of good exchange, I'll give my number. And then I kind of feel like I'm so Googleable anyway. You can find my number. And then same thing if you have to block. But I haven't really, I've only blocked a few people.
Yeah.
And that was like this one guy, it was a total random story, but it was so weird. So we had some good kind of back and forth, but it was when I was super, super busy, like 2-3 years ago in real estate. It was just like I was gone 12 hours a day and then still working like another 8 hours when I got home. So I didn't really have time for dating. So which could be another topic. Like if you want to start dating, like make time. And it was not fair to anybody that I saw during that time. So I wouldn't respond to him for like a day or two just because I couldn't. And I have the bandwidth because if you're going to start texting, you want to be able to respond.
Yeah.
And so I think I had texted him like at night when I got home, like 8:30 or something. And then the next morning at 6 a.m., I woke up and I had a book. And it was all about, you have no idea what it's like to wait for a response from you. And it was a whole book of stuff just kind of berating me. And I was like, I literally was like, do you have a job?
Hello?
Goes, no. I'm like, I am so busy. So you clearly have a lot of time on your hands right now. And I'm sorry, but I try to respond when I can and as kindly as I can and thoughtfully. And I don't appreciate waking up at 6 a.m. to a whole book from you. So
I don't want a book at all. Ever. Like if you feel like you have to text a novel to somebody, you should have like the conversation face to face or on the phone instead.
I haven't even met the person. It'd been like 4 or 5 days of maybe it was
even
a week.
Gone on a date?
No, hadn't even met him.
No.
And so I was like, clearly like,
we are not a match.
No, we're not a match. Sorry. Block. Yeah.
To be fair, like I have those thoughts sometimes, like when I am dating somebody, like when I've actually like gone out with them, I'm like, why aren't you texting me back? Or like, why is it taking you 4 hours to respond? But I don't say that to them.
Yes. And because you are excited, like when you do find that there's a good match, you want to be able to like, have that banter and going, but sometimes the days get busy, but it is nice to have like some connection, even if it's like 4 or 5 hours later and be like, hey, just still thinking about you, but I'm super swamped, but can't wait to catch up later.
That's all. And I feel like that goes into like the communication piece of it all. Like what are you doing in the first place on the app? Like I've started to ask people that, like, why are you here? And it sounds blunt and it sounds kind of rude maybe, but I want to know, like, did you just break up with somebody? Like, are you just getting back out? Like, to date other people, and like that gives you a feel, or like it would give me a feel for like where they're at and whether or not they're like wanting something serious. They're just wanting to like mess around and date a bunch of people. So I feel like the more honest you are with your questions, and I feel like that gives people a little bit more space to feel like they can be honest with you too. Hopefully.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment. And maybe, and it can change. Maybe you are thinking like, oh, I just want to start dating a variety of people and nothing serious. But then you meet somebody where there is a good connection and then it can change to that. But to your point, like be honest of your clear intentions of what you're doing. So I saw this as a question to ask. I feel like it's a little too upfront, but it was, why did you swipe on me?
Oh, I like that.
Right? I mean, like, I feel like it's a little too much pressure because I would be like, because you had pretty blue eyes. But I don't want to be superficial. Or you really get to know somebody. Like, what did they find interesting or attractive or whatever it is about you to begin with?
I would like that question if somebody asked me that, because then it gives me the opportunity to like be honest with them or just be, I don't know, it kind of like makes your guard, like take your guard down a little bit when it's not all like the surface level crap of like, what do you do for work? Like, what brought you to Denver? Oh my God, you bought a house. How cool. Like, I'd rather have those kinds of questions than like the small talk of it all.
But yeah, you did buy a house and how cool you are. One of the stats that single female homeowners outrank single men. So let's just, yes, Shelby, that is freaking badass.
I feel like you have a lot of female clients too that have done that, right? Like that's been not the majority of your clients, but you've had a lot of
somehow that has come to me, and I am super happy to help women. 'Cause I wish I had done that. I think I spoke about that before. Like just a corporate world, I didn't know about real estate, and so it was all 401k. So yes, to see you young ladies getting started early, it just warms my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that is a good way just to start it. Like, why did you swipe on me and kind of see what somebody likes? Tell me what you think makes an attractive online profile. And I mean attractive, not like just superficially with their looks, but like what is a good profile for you? Because there's so many different ones where it seems like some people take effort with what they're putting on, or sometimes, and this is my pet peeve, it's the same one across all platforms.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you've ever done Match. So on Match, you actually have like a user ID, if you will, and it could be like Lone Wolf 22. And then they keep that like on their Bumble and Hinge instead of having their actual name.
That's weird.
Well, it's weird. And then like put in some effort.
Yeah. Were you just copying and pasting stuff into each different app?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know. So to be totally honest, recently I'm trying to get more clear on like what I want in a partner. And I know that I am more attracted to guys that are taller, like much taller than me.
Oh.
So I'm trying to be, and I talked.
And how tall are you? Are you 5'4"?
5'4". Which is an average like female height. Like I'm not short necessarily. I'm not tall, but like find myself more attracted to guys that are like 6 feet or taller is what I'm finding. So although the guy last night talking about being honest said, and I've encountered this a couple times, like I think it said he's 5'9" or something like that. And he was just like a teeny bit taller than me, which was like fine. Like if you vibe with somebody and if you have like a good time, like I've dated people that are just a little bit taller than me and I just liked who they were, which like, I don't know. I find the apps make you more like superficial and like focus on the looks and stuff. But
yeah, because you have this like 2 seconds and people are making those split decisions, which is just unfortunate. But
I know. And I find myself doing it too. But I look at the height first and I look at their pictures first too, just to see if I'm attracted to them. And then I'll read like what they have for the prompts. But I feel like for those questions and stuff on there, it's like, you're trying to be funny. Like you're not really being yourself necessarily.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
And don't lie about your height. Like we just need to go back to that for a minute, that you're going to meet the person. And so if you're already starting off on a bad foot or a lie or whatever it might be.
Like, can I trust you?
Right.
If you're just going to lie about that. And like, also you always find out. Like if I was like taking pictures and just like, I don't know, cinching in my waist and like showing that I'm like taller or something. And then they meet me in person and I'm not that person that like I represented on the app. Like why would you do that?
Right. It's just so inauthentic.
Yeah. And they'll find out because you're going to go on a date. Like that's the whole point of it is like to meet up.
Right.
So.
And again, like what you were saying, it doesn't matter. Like what are your intentions? Are you trying to find a long-term relationship or just meet a ton of people? Maybe you're finding a friend, but you're going to meet the person. That's
I'm going to find out if you're 5'4", because I can see over your head when we hug each other. So, yeah, I feel like what I'm looking for on the app is not necessarily like what other people do. Like some people like the silly answers to the questions and stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to see if I'm attracted to you. And if you check the superficial boxes that I'm trying to refine for myself.
So what would be something that causes you to... I don't know. I mean, I guess I would like to say that some people don't have any answers to their questions. Like they're super basic. And then I think you're not serious.
And you're not funny.
Not funny. And I like, I totally took over that answer. But I like it when men have a variety of photos of them. It's not all of them like just at a wedding.
Yeah.
a work event, but they're casually doing something or hanging with their dog and they're working and it shows them doing something other than catching fish.
Yeah.
Out in the
Or
water.
snowboarding.
Yeah.
I do feel like a lot of guys in Colorado have put pictures up of like a faraway picture of them like in their snowboard gear or like
Right, with goggles and a helmet and you can't even see them.
Yeah, and that's all they have. And then I'm like, well, I can't see you.
Right.
If we did ever meet, I wouldn't know what to look for, like if I'm trying to find you in a bar or whatever. And I don't know if I like your face. So like I want to take the goggles off. I don't know, show like pictures.
Your Burton snowboard gear is cool, but
Nerd.
yeah, what do you look like? Yes, those are so yes, I would say that is like a key profile 101. Make sure you don't have your sunglasses on in every photo.
Yeah.
Make sure you're not with 5 other people in every picture. And like, who is this person that I'm supposed to be?
I know. I don't want to
meeting?
play Where's Waldo when I'm like looking. Because a lot of people will have girls too. And I was talking to some girlfriends about this the other day, actually. Like all group pictures. So I don't know if there are similar people in the pictures and it's not just you. Like, I don't know who you are.
Right.
And that's confusing. And maybe I think your friend is attractive and I think it's you. I don't know. So my friends were saying like, I only have one picture of like a group.
Yes, you want to show that you're social and that you have some friends,
Yeah.
but that you can also do things on your own. And it's not that hard. This is such a pet peeve too. Like you do not have to do the bathroom selfie. All of our phones have a timer.
That's so gross.
And hopefully you have a friend who is willing to maybe even take a photo of you, but freaking use your timer.
Or a gym selfie.
Oh my God, why?
I go to the gym almost every day and I do not take pictures of myself.
No.
Like I don't find the opportunity ever. And why does anyone want to see me like sitting on the floor sweating or like sitting on a bench somewhere? Like, cool, you have muscles.
Yeah.
Then lift me up or something.
Yes, I'd like to
pick
find
me
those
up
out
like a princess.
like, on my own.
Yeah. Hold me like a baby.
Or do the dirty dancing move. Where they
Oh,
hold your
yeah.
finger.
That should be like one of the tests. Like, can you lift I don't even know, 160-pound woman up into the air or whatever? But like these experiences, as annoying as it is to say, it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
Which whether it's like you're meeting people out in the wilds or you're just going on dates through the app or like a mixture of both, like you're not going to be able to refine your like what you're looking for in a person without meeting multiple people and like getting to know people and taking those chances no matter how awkward it is.
It is. And it is numbers game and it is a little awkward. But I always still feel like maybe that's not a match for you, but maybe that person will be good for someone else. And
yeah,
it's just so hard to meet people, especially we don't work, we don't have work in office environments really anymore. Everybody works from home. And so that used to be the main place that people would meet.
Yeah, I met my last serious boyfriend at work. We dated for like 4 years. So it I feel like it filters out a lot of crap. Like when you meet somebody at work, because they have a job, they're like sort of like operating member of society. They're not like a complete loser.
Yes.
Maybe they have a car. I don't know. Maybe not, if that matters.
And I have a friend in her 50s who for some reason, and she won't share her profile with me, maybe we can bring her on and dissect it. She only gets matched and or just swipes with men who don't have jobs.
How does anyone not have a job right now?
I don't know the answer to that. And I don't know why. Because she's very successful. I don't know what is drawing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to and if you're fortunate enough to maybe you are, independently wealthy and you have now retired, hopefully you're volunteering or you're somehow giving back. And
yeah, on the board of like an organization.
Exactly.
Or like actually doing stuff you like to do and not just
building trails through Colorado. Mm-hmm. Yes. There's so many things that you can be doing to still be productive in your life.
Maybe she's attracted to the guys that don't have jobs. Maybe she's not necessarily only getting matched with them, but she's only like liking those guys because they have a certain look about them or like a certain vibe that they're giving off. And
yeah.
Maybe she needs to think about her patterns.
Right. Or maybe she doesn't feel like she deserves a guy. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Which like no fault to her. Like I think we've all been there.
Yeah. stats, and this is a survey from Forbes, and it was conducted in August of 2023, and they pulled 5,000 respondents about who's been actively dating in the last 5 years. Nearly 70% of those individuals met someone on a dating app, and that led to a romantic or an exclusive relationship. Well, only 28% said that it did not.
Huh.
And interestingly, they did an age bracket. Individuals between the ages of 43 and 58 found the most success of online dating. And probably I would say that those people, that's my group, is we've already been married before. We've had a child. We've kind of done all the things and have learned lessons, hopefully. And so we're a little clearer on what we want. So I think there is a maturity level of men in their 30s. And I think there's this, like an epidemic of the swipe mentality, you know, call it ABS, that I think I made it up, but I'm sure somebody else did. Always be swiping.
Oh, God.
It doesn't allow you to like sit in the moment and get to know another human.
No. And like I was saying about the height thing, like I've really liked some guys that aren't 6 feet and taller, but I met them out in the wild and like got to know their, like you see their body language and like their personality and how they interact with other people. And like, those are the things I find attractive, but you lack that on the apps. So like, then we have to, like our backfall is to read their questions, the responses to their questions, or look at their height or look at like what they look like. So I feel like the apps are like good as it's like a vehicle, like one vehicle to like get to meet people. But it can make people superficial, and it makes people act like really bold when they wouldn't necessarily act that way in person, like hiding behind a screen.
Yes. And then, well, oh my gosh. And there are so many catfish. And I did encounter one of those where this guy was overly attractive and was like messaging me nonstop. And then it just felt off and weird.
Ew.
And I can't remember, there was one specific question that I was like, I don't know about this. And so I unmatched him. And then like 2 days later, I got a message from Hinge that said, just wanted to alert you of this fake profile and blah, 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 blah. So those things do happen.
That happened. I was at a friend's last weekend and chatting with this guy who's a friend of mine. And we were talking about dating and stuff. And he was like, any girl that I like on the apps turns out to be a bot. Which I like didn't know what that was at first.
That's fascinating how that even happens.
I think he's looking at like super hot girls. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to match with her. Oh, she matched with me and she's fake.
Well, no, but how do you create some kind of like AI bot that then has a profile on a dating app?
Easy. It's really easy to do that stuff. It's, you know, like on like say your banking app, how it has like the chat. It's a chat bot. So it's basically what they're doing on the app. So it takes your responses or whatever, and it has like a set amount of like responses that they will go off of your keywords.
Do you think it is then phishing for like there's somebody nefarious behind it trying to find someone to get money and like extort money from them?
Probably. What else are their intentions, you know?
I don't know.
Sex trafficking or kidnapping.
Getting
really dark.
The dogs are like not okay.
They didn't like it.
So I, with the survey also, I did find it interesting that the top place for dates, according to 45% of those respondents, was dating apps, but then also following up by being connected by friends, 33%, and concerts or festivals, 32%. So I do like that, you know, old-fashioned get to know you out in the wild is still an option.
Yeah. And I think it's, at least for my age group, like I'm going to like 3 concerts at Red Rocks this month. And like I've gone to 2 concerts at like smaller venues like in the past week. So everyone's out and about. But when you go out with like a group of people, it feels like people are less likely to come up to like me because I'm with a bunch of girls or whatever it is, or like their boyfriends and stuff. So they think like I'm with one of them or something.
That's true.
And that's why I feel like people are way more bold on the apps. And I feel like with COVID and all of that stuff too, I think dating has changed, but it takes a lot of guts to like walk up to somebody, some stranger at a concert and be like, hey, I think you're cute. And then, I don't know, then where do you go from there? It's risky.
Yes, it is risky. And I guess the dating app is a little safer, but then you might know sooner And you've seen that person interacting. What do you have to lose? At least you're already dressed up and out and having fun.
Yeah.
And you're with people.
That's the mindset that I've started to have. Is like, this person is a stranger. Why not be my authentic self? Which is kind of bald. Like, I am a little bit ballsy, I think, as a person. Like, I'll go up to people that I don't know. But for some reason, when it comes to like a potential rejection, I think is what like stops a lot of people. But recently I'm like, it's a stranger. I don't know them. They don't know me. If they don't like me, that's fine. That's no reflection of me. It's just like their tastes and whatever. So I've been talking to people more often.
Good.
I would normally.
That's so great. And it is hard to remember that too. Like, because I don't like everybody.
No.
Male or female. So I can't expect everyone's going to like me. So.
Yeah. And it's nothing against them or like the person that they are and their morals and values. It's just like, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like butterscotch candy.
I love a butterscotch candy.
I like sour candy.
Oh, I like this too. But
it's like, there's nothing wrong with a butterscotch. It's just not,
it's not your preference.
What I like. Yeah. Like, it's stuck in my teeth and it reminds me of like an old lady.
I don't have the Werthers. I like I like that. They're little like yellowy.
Yeah.
Gosh, I haven't had those in a long time. That is a total digression. Do you have a favorite app? Like, there's so many, like the bagel one and
I've only ever been on Hinge.
Okay. There's just so many different ones, which I love. Like, any interest that you might have, is out there.
Yeah. No, only Hinge because it's like a full-time job.
It is.
Like, I became in June and July, I think I got real intentional about like, all right, I'm going to rip through some dates. I'm going to meet a bunch of people and like, I don't know, just get my bearings. Because I was in Denver for a year at that point, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to like maybe find somebody. And so it was a full-time job, like keeping up these conversations, going on dates, and so multiple apps. I think I would just my wires would get crossed. And
did you ever try Bumble?
No. Yeah. What do you want to talk about your personal experience with the apps? Because you're dating someone now.
I am, and Monday is our 1-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm. How did you guys meet?
Well, we met on Hinge, the old-fashioned way.
Success story.
It was a success story. So we have some other friends who've had success stories. So that could be a whole other episode. Perhaps we do that. There are dating success stories, and as we follow along with Shelby. But I mean, I had been divorced for 3 years. And I was on Bumble originally because I kind of like the idea that the woman accepts them, whatever. Like, you can't communicate until then.
Yeah.
And did match with a super interesting person, but it was like 2 weeks before COVID. And I had to look up all of the acronyms that he had after his name because I didn't know what any of them meant.
God, yeah.
So he had an extraordinarily interesting alternative lifestyle that I was super curious about.
Yeah.
So we did go on a couple of dates, but then COVID happened, and I was like,
I
don't think that's comfortable for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward, went through a variety of dates, and then met John, and we went on our first date. And I would say, so like, his profile was super interesting to me. Like, it just seemed honest. He had an interesting statement that caused me to ask a question. We started with some immediate back and forth conversation, which was so great. And then for me, I really had learned, because I had a previous dating experience with somebody who was a non-communicator. Mm-hmm. And I realized, wow, communication was really up high for me. And so John was like, it's been texting with you. I have to go to a hurling game right now, but I can circle back later tonight. I was like, what? What is this communication?
I know.
It was amazing.
Like, oh, you're not just going to drop off the face of the earth for a night?
For like 5 hours and then just circle back. It was so great. So like right out of the gate. And then, I'll say we met for a brunch, and I liked our conversation, but he just really wasn't my type, like right from the beginning. But I had a couple games that I played with myself to see if he would answer these questions and in my head of what I wanted him to answer. And he did. So that allowed us to go on a second date. And I still was like, yeah, I like this conversation. This person's interesting. Still wasn't like crazy chemistry. But now here we are, a year later.
Yeah.
Moved in together and phenomenal person. And he only lived a mile and a half away from me for 2 years. And it's amazing I never ran into him out in the wild, especially at my
crazy?
favorite Tostino's on Broadway, because he was just a block away. But
Yeah. You just weren't meant to like have that connection at whatever point.
yeah, it's just
your
timing.
lives.
Oh my gosh, so much is timing too.
Yeah. That's cool too, because like it's a success story. At least I think it is, because you guys are still together and you're moving in and all of that. And like you're older than me. So it's like, oh, there's hope still.
There is. I do
Sort
think
of.
there's a lot. Yes, I do think there's hope.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that dating or the apps give you too is if you travel, you can adjust your schedule and maybe you do meet somebody who's in Vail or in Kentucky or I don't know, somewhere when you're traveling.
Yeah.
But
And yeah, because sometimes like things get a little stale in Denver, especially as what I'm learning. I'm not a skier, not like a snow sport person. I've tried it. I don't want anyone to get pissed at me for talking shit about it. But as winter approaches, like people leave Denver and they're skiing or snowboarding every weekend. And it's like hard to connect with people during that season. So like I have a friend in Aspen or like Basalt, and like I have friends who have like mountain houses and stuff. So when we travel there and like go stay in places for a weekend or something, I'm open to like changing my location and meeting somebody elsewhere, because you never know.
you never know.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to tie that up with, I think, going with our theme of bring something to the table. And so what do you think then people need to do to bring something to the table in their online dating world?
I think like we talked about in the beginning, being like very honest about what you want. Communication is fabulous.
It's just
It's
goes so
crazy.
far.
I saw something on Instagram probably, and it was like, you've been in a lot of toxic relationships when someone texting you back in a timely manner gives you butterflies. And it's because they're doing that instead of yelling at you or like gaslighting you. Yeah, or something.
That never happens.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's sad. But also like, you're learning about that stuff.
Yes.
And like learning about you and like your past relationships and the effects that it's had on you and stuff like that. So,
Well, and I made a lot of excuses for that person.
yeah.
Also, but then I found myself, this is pre-John, taking that particular person's text messages and sending them to 5 girlfriends to be like,
know.
what does this mean? How do I
That's
do that?
Not a red flag, but like I've caught when I catch myself like starting to branch out to other people to get opinions, I'm like, that's not right for me.
Right.
This person isn't giving me like the stuff that I need, and that's okay. Like maybe they're not in that place, but like when I'm having to like get interpretations from like 10 different people, like that's not my guy.
That is not the person. No.
Or when it sends you into like that panic mode, like that tense, like whatever stuff you've been through in the past, if something was tumultuous and you get that feeling, it's like, no, you either talk it through with them and see how they respond.
Right.
Or just know that that's not your person.
I agree. Sorry, the little caveat for those who can't see is that the Frenchie who has pneumonia is down here with us and heavy breathing.
So many dogs down
There's
here.
so many. All right, so I like what you said. So you did say honesty.
Yeah.
And honesty also about like not ghosting people.
Yeah.
And being authentic and clear, like you said, like what are your intentions of being on the app? Are you here to look for a relationship? Are you just here to date multiple people? Just
be honest about it.
Yeah, just be honest.
Like give me the opportunity to be like, okay, thank you. That's not for me. Or like, cool, yeah, I'm in the same place. Like, let's do that.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are your...
No, I think the same type of things. Well, and also just for me, it was having a profile that was, I don't know, the word robust comes to mind, but just a little bit of a little sneak peek to things about you and unique. Like, please do not do that. Sunglasses, all the things that we had talked about. Like, let's just see what you look like and who you are. Please don't have the fish picture, because I have a fish picture too, and I am a little bit of a one-upper when it comes to men. Like, you can do that, I can do it too.
Pissing contest.
And I can probably do better than you. So that's a little bit of an issue for me. Yeah, I think just really that honesty, because it hurts. And just don't ghost. I don't know why that can't be a blanket for men and women, regardless if it's a hetero relationship or a homosexual, whatever it is. Just say, I'm not feeling it, but you're a nice person. Thank you for your time.
I will be honest, that's real. Well, for me, like being 35 and dating for the past, I don't know, like 4 years, 3 years, whatever. Being honest doesn't come naturally to like a lot of people, because ghosting, I feel like, is the easy way out, because you're like, oh, I don't want to tell them exactly why I didn't like them, because then it won't hurt their feelings. So I just don't respond. But when you think about it and you have been on like the receiving end of that, you're like, no, absolutely not. Tell me you didn't like my hair, or you didn't like how I took a shot of tequila or whatever. Like, I would rather know the truth so I could be like, okay, if I did something like wrong and want to change that action, I have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, well, they hated me immediately. Like, if someone ghosts me, I'm like, well, I was terrible.
Your mind starts going in so many directions. You're like,
yeah.
The tequila shot, like, did I lick my salt first or after the shot? Like,
should I not drink anymore? Like, did I say something? Yeah. But I think the ghosting thing is huge.
Yeah.
Just treat people how you want to be treated. I don't know why we still have to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. But I started doing that recently, like being honest and just saying like, hey, I had fun. You were great, but it's just not for me. Or like, I'm not in the right headspace to move forward with like something serious with you.
Sorry, I laughed. I did try that. So I have been married twice. And so after my first marriage, we got divorced in like 2003, 2004. So I think at that time it was just like Match.com and maybe it's just 2 apps.
Tinder out at that point?
No. There was like Match and eHarmony. I think that was it. And so I had this time where I was trying to say yes to all these people, and I would go on these first dates. I just know immediately. It was like a job interview, like in 60 seconds, if I wanted to continue the date or not.
Yeah, immediately.
So with this one particular person, I did have a nice enough time that I was going to try to go on the second one. So we had scheduled a second date, and all day I just felt sick to my stomach. Like I just knew it wasn't the right thing. And so I called him to say, I'm sorry. I had a lovely time with you the other night, but I'm just not feeling that this is right.
Yeah.
And he got so angry and said, it was like yelling at me. And I'll never forget. He goes, "You're such a worm." Right?
What does that even mean?
I don't know. But I was like 33 or something at the time. And I was like,
don't call me a worm.
Don't call me a worm. And I was trying to be honest. And then we ended up hanging up the phone call. And I was like, well, I felt a little relieved that I wasn't going out with him. And certainly because then I saw his true colors. But then I just felt guilty for like weeks after that. Like maybe I should have been nicer to him. No. That was his reaction. It took me a long time to grow from that experience, but
that's really hurtful. To be called a worm. And I mean, being honest with people and not like hiding your true feelings, it shows you who they are.
Yeah.
So like his little baby man ego couldn't handle rejection. So he tried to like put it on you. They're too close to me.
They're both under there.
Is that okay?
Yeah, because she's being nice right now.
Okay. So, yeah, I feel like communication, honesty. Don't be a jerk and ghost people.
Be authenticate.
Hello?
Authenticate and genuine somehow then.
Authentic.
and clear genuine. With your goals on the dating app.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, that's enough.
Yes. All right. We would love to hear your feedback on your dating stories, and we'd love to get a collection of success stories too. So we do want to try to keep things elevated and positive. So drop us a comment or hit us up and share your story. We'd love to hear about it.
These success stories exist. Like you're one of them. I have a couple of one of my really good friends. She moved in with her boyfriend this summer. They met on Hinge. Like another friend is just now starting to date a guy from Hinge that she met on Hinge. So it's like there's success stories are out there, and I'm still here to explore live for everybody.
So we can follow your journey.
Yeah,
exactly.
It makes me actually want to go on these dates. So I have like stories to tell, and maybe I'll meet somebody that way. But we're moving forward. So yeah, we want to hear all the stories and good experiences, silly experiences. Like it's all life.
Yeah, it is.
So I think it's fun. But yay.
Good one. Cheers
again.
Oh, I do want to say my love my cups from the Vintage label.
Yes.
They're gorgeous, and they go with my gold bar cart. So
Yeah.
love them.
Fabulous. The mimosa tastes better out of them, I think.
It does.
Okay, yay.